Welcome to The Photographer. This is another visual novel I've been wanting to play. So let's play it. An ATP Productions Projects Production. The Photographer. Ah, Venice. We got the train at... Okay, guys, don't hate me. I'm super bad when it comes to Italian stuff, but Stazione di Venezia, Santa Lucia, like all the other tourists. It's sunny morning, but it's still quite chilly. Surprising if you've never been to Italy and already heard about the weather there. Of course, we've both been to Italy before, professionally, but neither of us have been to Venice so far. So it's a good opportunity to get to know the city from a different perspective. A non-professional perspective and a more private perspective. We're just here just for our own amusement, and if we're making photos, these are strictly for our own amusement too. So I'm assuming they're photographers. We're not worrying about who's going to want to see our photos later on. We carefully stroll over the closest bridge across the Canal Grande, which brings us to into Sao Paulo. I suppose you can call the Venice Historic Center, but then again, everything about Venice is history. You can't walk 100 feet without tripping over some history, so to speak. Directed by Mikey. So, where do you want to start? Piazza San Marco sounds like a good idea. Right, where all the tourists gather? Well, we're here as tourists, aren't we? And right now in the morning, maybe the crowds aren't that bad yet. Maybe. Yeah, that's one of our usual exchanges. I know they don't look very, happy. The extent of how much we talk right now. I don't know why, they're just hinting this much, early on, haha, our relationship. We don't really talk that well to each other. Do I sound as though it bothers me? You're right. Yeah, you're right, it does. But why, you ask? There's nothing strange about our little conversation right now. Or was there? Nothing that sounds out of the order for a couple? I don't know. I mean, couples kind of get pissed when they're out and about. I mean, they get pissed at each other every day, so nothing new there. I leave you to watch us for a little longer and then draw your conclusions. Okay. We continued our path through the streets of Sao Paulo. Though streets would be a bit of overstatement for any other city. If anything, they're alleyways. So pretty. Alleyways lined left and right with some of the history's finest architecture. Neither of us can avoid taking in the view, occasionally stopping for a picture. Even graffiti. Like this, San Giovanni Evangelista, old cracked but still awe-inspiring. That is very pretty. That it would be standing after so many centuries. Some things are just built to last, others, I sigh. Not that it matters, my sighs are rarely matter recently. Someone could take notice of them. Oh my gosh, so needy. I mean, it's not like we've been together since only recently. And it's not like we're not going to be together for quite a bit of time in the future. See, we're planning to get married later this year. This journey to Venice is our first longer vacation we're taking together. Lucky! I wish I could, travel that far. Is that someone sleeping? Or it's just... Oh, the motor. It just almost looked like there's just a body laying in there. It's some time just for the two of us. Away from our work, away from our friends. Away from everything that could distract us from being there for one another. And yet, We cross another beautiful backyard. I suppose it has to be Venice. Even the backyards look as though Da Vinci painted them. It's just garbage. We're still going in the right direction? Yeah, we are. You sure? I am. Oh, you can see the little colors. Okay, cool. You don't want to take another look at the GPS? Sheesh, we're right in the middle of one of the most beautiful cities on Earth. And you still want me to stare at my mobile? Sorry. There, now you must have heard it too. This is how two people are about to spend the rest of their lives together. Yeah, it sounds about right. Are supposed to talk to one another? I mean, you guys can have arguments. It's weird to not have them. I mean, you guys could try to communicate a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's smart to not get too far off the path. And we aren't even married yet. We're supposed to be very much in love. Like the honeymoon love? To me, sometimes those are kind of dumb. I mean, maybe I think everyone's kind of relationship might start, but I don't think ours lasted crazy long. And all their friends say we're perfect for one another. Maybe by looking at you guys. I don't know. Well, it's easy to see how they get that idea. We're both photographers. Both good at what we do, at least according to the people who get to see our work. And there was a time when I thought we were really connected in quite a few other ways. The fact that I just said there was time makes it sound as though it was ages ago, doesn't it? We've only known each other for 3 years. That's quite a bit of time. But maybe 3 years is not a very long time if you're not really meant to be together. Yeah. I mean, just look at us. Hardly a friendly word between us. I mean, how was your travel like? Was it exhausting? I don't know. I just know when I went on family trips, it was just hectic. I hated going on family trips. Ooh. As I pondered these thoughts, the alley suddenly opened. There's a Canal Grande in front of us again, and only a little further the water is Rialto Bridge, which will take us to San Marco. Oh, that's cool. So pretty. Wow. The Rialto Bridge is one of Venice's most famous sights. Wow. It's beautiful. We both get our cameras ready to take a few pictures, and at the same time, we realize how stupid it is for us to both take pictures of the same thing. If things go as usual, we'll end up arguing over who shot where better. And that'll be another blow to our relationship. That's kind of dumb. You guys can both have different perspectives. That's kind of how photography and art work. What are you doing here? We have come to Venice of places to realize this isn't going to work out. A city as beautiful as this, with a magnificent history as that, as the mere backdrop to some couple that can't get their problems worked out. No, worse, a couple that can't even work out what their problems are. Venice really hasn't deserved this. Oh no. So beautiful. At the very least, we're not arguing out loud. It gets there. I can't tell if this is holding up something or if it's just this has already been sticking out and this is on the other side. We're just wandering around the streets of San Marco side by side, taking pictures of the waterside villas. There's less churches on this side of the Canal Grande, it seems, and altogether the streets seem wider. They're also slowly becoming more crowded. And we're trying to get to Piazza San Marco before other tourists. I have a bad feeling that's not going to work out as expected. As we eventually get to our destination. Wow. I kind of like Whoever took the camera, they probably just let it sit there, you know, while the people are going past. Oh dear, it's crowded already. Sure is. I thought being early birds would work out. Probably would have if we'd taken an earlier train. Get up 5 in the morning? We're here on vacation. Doesn't mean we can't plan things like tourist crowds a little better. Can't plan for everything. Yeah, especially if it's a new place, that's always kind of hard. Like, unless you can Google it, but... You can plan for things like this. I do it all the time. For work, this is our vacation. You can do the same thing! Yeah, whatever. For a moment of awkward silence follows between us. Eventually, though. Come on, let's see if we can get through to the Balisia. We both wanted to see that from close up, didn't we? Man, guys, I sound like I'm like an elementary school. Let's get that. Yeah, you're right. Let's try that. We unlink arms and begin to find our way through the crowd of tourists, trying to stay aware of our surroundings. Pickpockets love crowds, and Venice is apparently famous for pickpockets anyway. We're carrying a camera that's worth a few $1,000s each. There's probably no arguing that we probably look like very attractive targets for any pickpocket out for our major haul. Me, I'm not taking any chances. I have one hand on my camera and the other on my money. No one's gonna just grab either way for me and run as I make through the crowd of basilisks. It's like, that's why you can have a backpack and then strap it forward. That's what some tourists do. Not very successfully, though. I try to give up Balesa without pushing other people out of the way too much. Maybe that's my mistake. Maybe you're supposed to push if you want to get somewhere, but I never really like doing that. Eventually, I end up next to the Balisia. Oh, wow. In that moment, I realized she disappeared. She disappeared. Oh. Oh my gosh. What? Can we save? Place new bookmark. Oh. Alright, let's say I kinda like being the girl, so he disappeared. Immediately I stopped and looked around for him. He can't be gone. He was just next to me, and then we were moving forward, and then... For a moment, all sorts of horrible things were rushing to my head. Someone may think the camera around his neck is worth enough to take more risks, or someone not flattered with the picture he took of them. I'm not certain, but did he work on that mafia story a few months ago? Did he? And then I realized I have a very easy way of finding whether he's alright or not. I take out my mobile from my purse and dial his number. He picks up almost immediately. Yeah? It's me! I figured, where are you? Just next to the Balesa, left side. I'm on the right side. Figures, one simple crowd of tourists is enough to keep us apart already. I knew this would be happening. Stay where you are, I'm coming. And without thinking, 2 words suddenly popped in my brain as I speak them out before I know it. No, wait. He sounds more annoyed than surprised. Good, that makes the following words easier. Look, why don't we split up for a while, explore Venice on our own? Huh? What did you mean on our own? Each of us themselves without the other one around. Because the only way I'm going to enjoy my stay in this beautiful city is if he doesn't get in the way of it. I thought we wanted this to be like our vacation, something like the 2 of us together. He doesn't mean it. I can hear it in his voice. He's probably annoyed already that things aren't going its way as usual. Honestly. But I can't tell him that like it is. With many people around, it doesn't really feel like just the 2 of us. So what are you suggesting? Each of us separate ways through Venice away from the crowds. Find some nice sights, some nice places to be. Tomorrow, we show them each the other places we found. It's a nice excuse to being able to spend some time away from him. Maybe he'll be in a better mood tomorrow. I wait for his response, but none comes. What is this? Is he trying to give me the silent treatment? Are you still there? I am. So what do you say? Well, I guess I can't really say no, can I? Oh sheesh, make it sound like you're the victim, will you? Look, if you don't want to. No, it's fine. Let's do it, like you suggested. Let's explore Venice that's not overrun by tourists. Good. Finally. Let's meet back here at, say, 1 o'clock? Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, be seeing you. Bye. I hang up and sigh. Finally, it's always a battle with him, even about the smallest things. He's not happy if he cannot dominate me. Probably for the best if we both get at least a few hours away from one another. This vacation is not really doing what I hope it would. I would have spending a few days together without any interruptions by work, friends, or anything else would bring us closer together. Instead, it only makes us realize how little we have in common. I know there's only my feelings. I'm probably projecting when I think he feels the same as I do. He probably thinks everything's fine, everything's manageable. To him, everything's manageable, has a solution for everything, or at least he thinks he does. He doesn't really understand that there are a few things that can't be solved, that need to be accepted to get over them. Yeah, I did once explain that to him once. It didn't go very well. I should have known in advance, though. Unlike me, who specializes in photography or art, he's a photojournalist. To him, only the facts matter. And if something looks unsolvable to him, he strictly believes he doesn't have all the facts yet, and continues to search for them, even if there's no facts to be found. Even if that's all about feeling. I'm not saying feelings aren't facts, but they are individual facts. I have to write my hand around that one. They only belong to one single person. You can't let someone else really feel the same thing you feel. You can make them understand what you feel, but it still doesn't put them in your shoes. For example, I'm quite certain he's not feeling the same as I do right now. I was really looking forward to this vacation. Really looking forward to the opportunity to experience Venice. Oh, I think he was too, or else he wouldn't be doing this. And now I can think is how much this trip proves we may not be suitable for one another. I don't know. Like, I feel like he probably, like, that first thing, he might be thinking a different way. You guys are like, that's why you're clashing. But he definitely, for sure, was like, I want to go on this trip with her and experience Venice. I stand right next to the front of Basilica San Marco, and all I can think is our relationship. I should be thinking about Lisa's history. How once the private chapel dodged the ruler of Venice. How the church slowly took over responsibility and turned it their own seat of power. That would have been a story worth reporting back then, wouldn't it? Something a photojournalist could get really excited about. You probably would have sold that story for a small fortune. Oh god, what am I thinking? I'm getting these feelings of inferiority again. That's kind of funny. I need to get out of here quickly. Good thing Venice is full of high, narrow alleyways. If you don't want to see something anymore, all you need to do is duck into an alley and it's out of sight. A sigh of relief as I leave the crowds of the Pizza San Marco behind. All these just really, remind me, was it Assassin's Creed? I played like a lot of Assassin's Creed. But it's really cool to actually see the pictures. But not usually mind crowds, but right now I really need a little time for myself. A little time to figure things out. A little time to prepare myself for some major decisions. And a little time to forget about my lack of success. What am I kidding? I'm a failure. I've always been a failure. The only thing I ever get right is to please the art critics. I'm a really disappointment to everybody. To my parents, who were hoping for me to find a steady job in marketing, or somewhere else where the money pay good money. I don't know, if you're able to go to Venice, that sounds really good to me. My professor who wanted me to finish my studies and certainly not drop out of the academy. And just because someone was offering me an opportunity to live in Paris for a year. That sounds awesome. And even my best friend, his wonderful, successful woman owning 3 galleries, and who would really hoping I would attract a few paying customers for her. The only one who don't seem to have disappointment is him. At least not until now. So pretty. I really don't know what he saw in me back then. I'm just a stupid little girl who thought her photos were all the rage. I mean, to be a feature attraction for a gallery opening, all the attention was on me, especially his attention. I mean, there was that photojournalist who had almost single-handedly brought down the treasurer's office for bribery, a local hero like that, and he had come just to report on my art, my photography. How could I have not been flattered? The evening we spent after the opening event and days afterwards, especially the nights. Yeah, he sure made me feel like I was something special. What I like about this is kind of true feelings, you know, when you're going through stuff, like you think about them, you think about yourself, and sometimes like all that stuff just kind of brings you down. So pretty. Me, I always thought the most important thing in life was to find happiness. I guess. A lot of people, I guess a few people believe that. And think that that's where he and I are the mostly connected. We both believe that nothing is worth doing what doesn't make you feel happy in any way. And since we met, he's always supported me in my pursuit of happiness. If only the happiness he is looking for and the happiness I'm looking for were the same things. He finds happiness in looking for a challenge than overcoming it. I find happiness in just swimming in the tides of life and seeing where they take me next. And when I see something that I feel represents these tides, I make a photo of it to show the way it affects me at the moment, and somehow people seem to be quite impressed with it. Very least, he seems to be impressed with it. And with a few art critics who seem to have taken a liking to me. Though I can't remember any of them buying even one of my photos. Then again, history is full of starving artists. No shame in being one of them. That's what everyone says. Of course, he is the opposite of that. He is the rare talent of making pictures that instantly catch your interest. You see one of his photos and you immediately ask yourself, what's the story behind it? It's just it. I suppose that's why his magazine pays him good money. And that's why he even sometimes sells his pictures to other publishers. Yeah, if I took a picture of this church here, Madonna del Ortolo, people would immediately suspect in some sort of really important piece, or that there's something really exciting to see inside. The funny thing is, they would be right. Tintoretto's grave is inside, along with his most important works. If you want to see how he surprised Titan and became Michelangelo's equal, this is where you go. Me, I take a photo of Madonna del Ortolo right now, and all the people wonder is why churches put me in a bad mood. Not that churches put me in a bad mood in general. I really have nothing against churches. Some of the most beautiful places on earth are churches. But here in Venice, you can hardly walk 100 yards without seeing a church. Or Utah. Right now, churches remind me of something I'd rather forget about. Marriage. I know I was the one who suggested it on the 2nd anniversary of me moving in with him. I shouldn't really complain and went ahead with that idea after that. He didn't have to propose to me the very next week, though. Of course I said yes. I couldn't have said no, not after giving him the idea myself. Truth is, I suspected he already had the idea himself, but was waiting for a good moment to pull it off. Aww, that means he does like you. Come on. And I pretty much gave him the green light with my suggestion, so you guys both wanted to get married. My gosh. I mean, how else could we have everything prepared in a single week? The reading, the reservations, the Sky Lounge violinist. I suppose with all that, I couldn't have said no, even if I haven't suggested marriage myself. Dude, sounds like he likes if he puts that much effort into that. Some guys don't even do that. I think the moment would have knocked any girl's socks off. But I need to be a realist. One moment does not make a marriage. Marriage make. This is not going to work if we're not compatible in the long run. I cannot pressure myself into this just because marrying would be the appropriate thing to do. Good thing I know I now have some time to myself to think over. I need some breathing space, though. You already did! These high alleys aren't helping. I pick up my pace, no more strolling around. Let's see if I can get some open space around myself and get my thoughts in order. This is a big decision I'm about to make. You've already said this like 3 times. Good thing Venice is built on a series of islands. Sooner or later, you always run into either one of the canals or the sea itself. Well, there it is already. Well, that wasn't too bad. I just need to walk down these banks. Help me clear my head for sure. My gosh, how long? Like, she keeps saying that. It's kind of annoying. It would be if there weren't those churches everywhere. Ah! Yeah, you would hate Utah. It's not impossible to have some impartial thoughts about marriage with all these churches here. Curse the Venetians and curse all those Venetian nobles thinking they had to butter up the Pope. Why do they have to be so clerical? For sure. So pretty. Okay, I need to get out of here. I need some open space. But where do I get all space in a city that's churches and narrow alleyways? That's kind of how it felt when I went to New York. Well, not just churches, but like New York City is like they're almost. I was only there for a day and I kind of felt claustrophobic with all the buildings and there's like almost nowhere you can actually run. I start on the scene, suddenly I know what I'm going to do. Take more photos? Is that what you're doing? Oh, so pretty. I speed up my steps even more and briskly walk, almost run to something I see in the distance. Something that'll give me the breathing room I need. There, a water bus station? I'm going to take a ride in the water bus. Doesn't matter where, just away from downtown Venice and all those churches. Murano sounds nice. I know Murano glassware, really beautiful craftsmanship, renowned throughout the world for its artistry and its price. Yeah, some good old-fashioned non-religious art. Just what I need now. That's so funny. Just what I need to take my mind away from everyone expects me to do now. Away from any obligation to marry. I board the water bus and off we go. And this is where I'm gonna stop here for today. So far, I mean, it's kind of cool. They're talking about, like, this relation stuff. I mean, it's kind of annoying because she just keeps doing this. I really hope it goes somewhere. Because I know when you're in that place, that's all you think about, you know, when something's bothering you. But, you know, for a game, it's like, okay, I get it already, you know. Beautiful pictures. We know you're not having a good time. You want to get away. Like, I guess we'll see where this goes. Thank you for watching. Bye!